All right, thanks, guys. Happy Wednesday to you. We're finally at hump day. We're almost through the week. Friday is right around the corner. And of course, I think we can all use a much deserved, much needed weekend. But anyway, guys, we got ourselves a really nice slate of NBA action here for Wednesday. Really excited for this slate tonight. And believe it or not, we got a lot of underdogs we're leaning to. So let's go ahead and dive into it, beginning with the Bulls taking on the Cavaliers. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Cleveland. The Bulls are -2 on the road, totals 215.5. Now, we did see a half a point fade of Chicago and movement downward on the total. The Bulls open 2.5 down to -2. Total open 216.5 down to 215 and a hook. 66% of the consensus are leaning toward Chicago. 55% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, Cleveland is plus $1.15 on the money line. Now, if you like the Cavaliers in this matchup here, they're 2-1 against the number so far for the year. They're actually led by Tristan Thompson, who's leading the team with 19 points per game on average. He's also bringing down 12 rebounds a game as well. Kevin Love right behind him, 16 points a game, 16 rebounds a game for Kevin Love. Very good crash in the boards there. Definitely some shades of the old Kevin Love. Now, Cleveland is fifth in defensive rebounding, obviously, with those two guys. And when it comes to the Chicago team on the other side, just 1-3 straight up on the year. They failed to cover in 3 out of those 4 games. They ranked 27th in field goal percentage. They also ranked 27th in defensive three-point percentage. And their offense, they've averaged just 91 points in their last couple of games. Now, total-wise, Cleveland is 67% to the over in their last 6, taking on the Central Division. Another one of those nice historical trends there. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me the Cavaliers +2 in the over 215.5 in that game. Next matchup, Timberwolves, Sixers, 7 o'clock, South Philly. The Sixers are 6.5, totals 224 and a hook. We saw a half a point move toward Philadelphia. We also saw a half a point move upward on the total. The Sixers open 6 up to -6.5. Total open 224 up to 224.5. 53% of the consensus are leaning Minnesota. 54% shaded toward the over. Right now, the T-Wolves are +230 on the money line. Now, Minnesota's 3-0 straight up on the year, and they are a perfect 3-0 against the spread. They have successful wins and covers over Miami, Charlotte, and Brooklyn. They're led by Karl Anthony Towns, who's scoring 32 a game, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. All those great averages per game for Towns in this early season here. Now, they're also led by Andrew Wiggins right behind him with 21 points a game, 6 rebounds. Minnesota's 4th in scoring in the NBA. Now, Philadelphia on the other side, they failed to cover taking on Atlanta in their last game. It was a victory. It was a 2-point win, 105-103. But they did not cover the point spread in that game. Philadelphia ranks 25th in free throw percentage and 17th in defensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, Philadelphia is 2-1 to the under on the year. They're allowing just 102 points per contest, so might see a slow, methodical pace here. We'll have to wait and see, but with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one, another underdog for us. I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Minnesota +7 and the under 224.5 in that game. Next matchup, Knicks, Magic, 7 o'clock, Orlando. The Magic are -9, total 209. Now, we saw a 1.5 point move toward the Magic and movement downward on the total. Orlando open 7.5 up to -9. Total open 210 down to 209. 63% are leaning Knicks. 61% shaded toward the over. Right now, New York is +355 on the money line. The Knicks are 3-1 against the spread overall for the year. 2-0 against the number when traveling. They have successful covers over the Spurs, the Nets, and the Bulls. And they actually held Chicago to just 98 points in that contest. Now, the Knicks are led by R.J. Barrett, who's dropping 21 a game, 8 rebounds. Julius Randle's also right behind him with 16 points and double-digit rebounds himself. He's got 12 rebounds per contest. For the record, Alfred Payton is out with a hammy, and Dennis Smith Jr. Looks like he's on bereavement leave, so he is questionable tonight as well. Not a real big impact, in my opinion, when it comes to the fantasy or just the straight up the outright game. But anyway, Figured I'd throw that in there. Now, Orlando on the other side, 0-3 against the number on the year. They haven't covered a point spread. They failed to cover against Cleveland, Atlanta, and Toronto. Their offense is averaging just 95 points per game. They actually scored 99 or less in all 3 games this year. And this Orlando squad, just 29th in scoring, 29th in offensive field goal percentage. And when it comes to the total, Orlando 3-0 to the under. No real surprises there. The Knicks on their side of things, 75% to the under on the year. I'm going to lean toward another dog in this one. This time the road dog. Give me the Knicks +9 in the under 209 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Wednesday's NBA action. But before we go ahead and dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you guys to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, we do daily plays on that website starting at just $1.99 per month. They're premium selections. Right here on YouTube, we kind of handicap every single game, give our opinion on every single game. We don't take free passes, but that's no way to make money betting sports, betting the entire slate. I do not bet the entire slate. Absolutely not. So what Patreon does is, I show you my personal plays. Basically, those are my personal plays. Those are games that I have action on. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. And like I said, it begins at just $1.99 per month. You can also access my record for free right on the homepage. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more lines and personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Pacers taking on the Nets. And that's going to be a 7:30 Eastern tip-off in Brooklyn. Now, the Nets are -3.5, totals 220. We saw a half a point move toward Brooklyn and movement downward on the total. The Nets opened 3, up to 3.5, total opened 221.5, down to 220. 68% are leaning Brooklyn, 52% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Pacers are +145 on the money line. Indiana, winless on the year. 0-3 straight up on the year. They have not covered a point spread either. 0-3 against the number on the year. They failed to cover against Detroit twice already and Cleveland once. Believe it or not, Indiana was favored in all 3 of those games, by the way. Now, Jeremy Lamb is questionable for tonight. Obviously, Victor Oladipo out indefinitely with that knee. Really been troubled by that knee, over almost the past year. No word on his return either. Like I said, it's indefinite. No real solid word on when we should expect to see him back. If you guys have some info on that, let us know in the comments section below if there's any timetable on when he should be returning. Now, Indiana, 25th in scoring, 28th in defensive field goal percentage. Now, Brooklyn on the other side, they are 2nd in scoring on average per game, 9th in field goal percentage. They're averaging 124 points per contest. Kyrie Irving is averaging 38 a game, 6 rebounds. Karis LeVert, great to see Karis LeVert on the court. I know he was banged up a little bit last year, but Karis LeVert is averaging 20 points per contest. And Jared Allen, leading the rebound charge. He's got double-digit rebounds. He's averaging 11 a game in that category. Now, total-wise, Brooklyn 2-1 to the over on the year. Indiana 60% to the over in their last 10 head-to-head matchups with Brooklyn. I know how much you guys love those historical trends. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Brooklyn -3 and the over 220 in that game. Next matchup, Pistons, Raptors, 7:30 Toronto. The Raptors are 8.5, total 212. We saw a half a point fade of Toronto and movement downward on the total. The Raptors open -9, down to -8.5. Total open 214.5, down to 212. 60% are leaning Pistons, 61% shaded toward the over. Right now, Detroit is +310 on the money line. Blake Griffin still out for the Pistons, at least through the first week of November. Like I said, if you guys have a more concrete, solidified date or idea of when he should be returning, let us know in the comments section below. But as far as I have, Griffin still out through the first week of November. No real solid date on his return. Reggie Jackson's out with a back injury as well. Shouldn't be a huge significant impact. He's averaging just 5 points a game, but just figure let you guys know about that as well. Now, Detroit has failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3 games. Their defense gave up 110 points or more in 3 out of their 4 games on the year. Detroit is 19th in points allowed, 26th in defensive field goal percentage. Now, Toronto on the other side, 3-1 straight up on the year, 3-1 against the number. They have successful wins and covers over Orlando, Chicago, and the Pelicans. They were favored in all 3 of those games, so doing a very good job laying the points. Toronto, their defense held their opponents to 95 points and 84 points, respectively, in their last couple of games. So, mental math, quick math, I think that's basically holding their opponents to under 90 points per contest in their last couple of ball games. One more thing to add about Toronto, they're first in defensive field goal percentage. Tough to score against them. Now, Toronto, 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games. Detroit, 2-1 to the under in their last 3. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it down. Not leaning toward the dog in this one. Give me Toronto -8 and the under 212 in that game. Next matchup, Bucks, Celtics, 7:30 Boston. The Bucks are -2.5, total 222 and a hook. We saw a 1-point fade of Milwaukee, believe it or not. A 1-point fade. And movement upward on the total. The Bucks opened 3.5 down to -2.5. Total open 222 up to 222.5. 66% are leaning Milwaukee. 54% shaded toward the over. Right now the Celtics are +120 on the money line. Boston 26th in offensive field goal percentage. They're also ranking 28th from the line. Enes Kanter's out with a knee. Daniel Theis is questionable with an ankle. Meanwhile, Milwaukee on the other side, their offense scored 117 points or more in all 3 of their games this year. They're 2-1 straight up on the year, 2-1 against the spread. Obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 24 points a game, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, nearly averaging a triple-double through 3 games. Chris Middleton right behind him, 19 points a game, 7 rebounds. And Ersan Ilyasova, the ex-76er, he's averaging 7 rebounds a game. Milwaukee, like I said, they scoring a lot of points. They're averaging 124 points per game. And when it comes to the total, Milwaukee 2-1 to the over for the year. Boston 115 points per contest in their last 2. They're averaging. I'm going to lean toward the road favorite in this one. I'm also going to buy the hook, slide it down, and take Milwaukee -2 and the over 222.5 in that game. Next matchup. Blazers, Thunder, 8 o'clock, Oklahoma City. The Blazers are -1, totals 223. We saw a 1-point fade of Portland and movement upward on the total. The Trail Blazers open -2, now down to -1. Total open 221.5 up to 223. 70% are leaning Portland, 54% shaded toward the over. Right now, OKC is +102 on the money line. OKC is also just 1-3 straight up on the year. They rank 26th in scoring on average per game, 26th from the line as well. Portland on the other side, they successfully covered 3 out of their 4 games on the year. They have successful covers over the Spurs, Dallas, and Sacramento. Their offense is averaging 118 points per contest in their last 3. They're obviously led by Damian Lillard, who's dropping 31 points per game, 6 assists. CJ McCollum out of Lehigh, 23 points per game. Hassan Whiteside bringing down double-digit rebounds as well. Whiteside is averaging 12 boards per game. Now, just for the record, Gasol and Nurkic are still out indefinitely for the Blazers. And Zach Collins is out with a shoulder. So once again, shouldn't have a huge impact. Zach is averaging just 9 points per contest, but just figure, I'd update you guys on that. No real changes with Gasol and Nurkic, but Zach Collins not playing tonight. OKC on the other side as well. Roberson's still out, should be returning soon, and Steven Adams is banged up. He's questionable with a knee. Now, total-wise, OKC 3-1 to the under for the year, 2-0 to the under at home. Portland, 2 out of their last 4 stayed under as well. I'm going to lean toward the road favorite in this one. It's a slight road favorite, but we're liking them in this one. I'm going to lean Portland -1 and the under 223 in that game. Next matchup, Rockets they're going to the nation's capital to take on the Wizards. And that's going to be an 8 o'clock tip-off in Washington. Now, the Rockets are -8 on the road. Totals at 230.5. We did actually see a 1-point fade of Houston in the early wagering. Personally, I'm not all that surprised about that, but I know that some folks out there kind of shocked to see a fade of Houston in this spot here. But we did see movement upward on the total. So once again, Houston open -9, down to -8. Total open 229.5 up to 230 and a hook. 64% are leaning Houston, 58% shaded toward the over. Right now, Washington is plus 280 on the money line. The Wizards, 3-0 against the number on the year. They've covered against San Antonio, OKC, and Dallas. They were underdogs in all three, similar to this game. They're led by Bradley Beal. It's Bradley Beal's team. He's averaging 20 points per game, 8 assists. Thomas Bryant is bringing down 10 rebounds a game. Washington, believe it or not, 10th in points allowed, 6th in defensive three-point percentage. Their defense held their opponents to 108 points or less in 2 out of their last 3. Now, Houston on the other side, no mistake about it, they're good. They're a good team. They're 2-1 straight up on the year, but they have not covered the number. They're not great against the number, and as a matter of fact, they're 0-3 against the spread. They failed to cover against OKC, the Pelicans, and the Bucks, and they were favored in all 3 of those games. Houston's 24th in offensive field goal percentage. They're also allowing 117 points per game. Now, total-wise, Washington 2-1 to the under on the year. They're also 6-4 to the under in their last 10 head-to-head matchups with Houston. If you're into historical trends, I'm going to lean toward the home dog. Another underdog for me. I'm going to lean Washington plus 8 and the under 230.5 in that game. All right, and guys, just remember, just another reminder, these are leans. A lot of these I don't have a strong opinion on. Some of them I'm using actually as a personal play. So the only way to find out is to go to patreon.com/rockpage. Like I said, when it comes to this YouTube program, we cap the entire slate. We don't take free passes. We don't hold out, for using it as a play or not. We cap the entire slate. So anyway, just wanted to remind you guys of that. Next game, it is going to be Clippers taking on the Jazz. And that's going to be a 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Utah. Tough place to win. Now, Utah is -2, totals 215. Not a whole lot of movement in this one. This should be a pretty good game here, guys. We've had pretty good two-way action with regard to the total. We also saw just a little half a point fade of Utah in the early wagering. Really not surprised about that either. The Jazz open 2.5, down to -2, totals 215. 70% are leaning Clippers, 56% shaded toward the under. Right now, Los Angeles is plus 105 on the money line. The Clippers, 3-1 straight up on the year. They've beaten Charlotte, Golden State, the Lakers. They're averaging 122 points per contest. Of course, no surprises here. They're led by Kawhi Leonard, who's dropping 27 points per contest, 8 assists. Lou Williams right behind him, 22 points a game, 5 assists. And Montrezl Harrell, 21 points a game for Big Montrez and 7 rebounds for him. Now the Clippers, if you're into historical trends, they are 13-7 against the number in their last 20 games played in October. So you're going to have to go back a season or two, and that is their current ATS record in their last 20 in October. Now Utah on the other side, they're just 1-4 against the number in their last 5 games played in the month of October. They're just 1-3 against the spread overall for the year. They failed to cover against Phoenix, Lakers, and OKC. They're averaging just 98 points per contest, and they rank 22nd in offensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, no surprise here. Utah 4-0 to the under for the year, 2-0 to the under at home. Meanwhile, the Clippers, 2 out of their 4 games stayed under the total as well. I'm going to lean toward another underdog in this one. Give me the Clippers plus 2 on the road and the under 215 in that game. Next matchup, Hornets, Kings. 10 o'clock Sacramento. The Kings are -7.5, total 225. We saw a 1-point fade of Sacramento and movement downward on the total. The Kings open 8.5, down to 7.5. Total open 227 and a hook, down to 225. 56% are leaning Charlotte, 57% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Hornets are plus 250 on the money line. Charlotte, 2-2 against the number on the year. They actually rank 3rd in three-point percentage. They are 10th in defending the 3 ball as well. The Hornets are led by Devontae Graham, who's scoring 18 points a game, 7 assists. Cody Zeller. Good to see Cody Zeller playing hard, playing well. He's been banged up over the past couple of seasons. But Cody Zeller, 16 points a game, 13 rebounds. Charlotte is covered against the Clippers and the Bulls. They were underdogs in both of those games. Now, Sacramento on the other side, no real surprises here. Marvin Bagley still out. We're looking at around, 4 to 6 weeks with that thumb injury. You just never know with these injury reports. I would say comfortably we're probably looking at, maybe another month. Once again, guys, This is a very organic, interactive program. So if you guys have any real specific, precise information on Bagley, let us know in the comment section below. But as far as I know, he is out tonight with a thumb, and he'll be out for like 4 to 6 weeks. But regardless, Sacramento 0-4 straight up on the year, 0-4 against the number. They're averaging just 95 points a game. They rank 26th in points allowed, and they are 3-1 to the under overall for the year. So I'm going to lean toward another underdog. I'm also going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Charlotte +8 and the under 225 in that game. And we're going to slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Phoenix Suns taking on the Golden State Warriors. 10:30 Eastern tip-off in Golden State. The Warriors are -5, totals 228.5. We saw a 1-point fade of the Warriors taking on the Suns. Who would have thought that last year? We also saw movement upward on the total. Golden State opened 6, down to -5. Total opened 227, up to 228 and a hook. 55% are leaning Golden State, 66% shaded toward the over. Right now the Suns are +170 on the money line. I'm not going to dive too far into this one. I know the Suns are hot. I know a lot of people are looking at them. I can't tail them. I'm sorry. I got to lean Golden State -5 and the over 228.5 in that game. All right, guys, let's go ahead and slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. We got Golden State -5 over 228.5. Clippers +2 under 215. We got Charlotte +8 under 225. Portland -1 under 223. Washington +8 under 230 and a hook. Milwaukee -2 over 222.5. Brooklyn -3 over 220. Toronto -8 under 212. We got the Knicks +9 under 209. Minnesota +7 under 224.5. And last but certainly not least, we got Cleveland +2 in the over 215.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and slide into some shout-outs brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to DB's Nation, Big Ree and Ace Sports Picks. Big Ree and Ace, I love these guys. I'll tell you what, Big Ree and Ace, we all kind of started doing the YouTube thing at around the same time. And these guys have just consistent content, consistent views on their video. These guys are incredibly entertaining. They're awesome. I love their picks. I love their presentation. And it's great to see you guys comment in the comment section. So shout out to Big Ree and Ace Sports Picks. They have a great YouTube channel, guys. If you have some time, make sure you click on it and take a look, man. These guys are entertaining. And I love I love the program, man. I tune in every week. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Josh Stewart, Dean Trong, Gio Lopez, Jason Bordelon. Shout out to Ephraim Corpus, Felix Strickland. Shout out to E3 Chosen, Quam 90210. Shout out to Sean O'Neill, Ronnie Christie. Big love to Ronnie Christie. I'll tell you what, Ronnie, you guys are great. I really appreciate your comments each and every day, and you guys have my back, and you're fair with me too. You know, you're not always on board with me. Sometimes, you know, you're against me when it comes to the leans, but we always, you know, end the day as friends. So you guys are great. Really, really appreciate it. Shout out to VegasHustler.net, who has a channel of his own. I actually checked it out today. It looks like VegasHustler.net cashed big in a super contest. So has only one video up on the channel, but check them out. VegasHustler.net. Just kind of looking at the video, I would have to assume that you're a handicapper as well. So best of luck to you, and congratulations on the win. That was cool. I think it was the super contest. You cashed like $62,000. So congrats. Enjoy the win, and thanks for checking out the program. Got to give a shout out to Big Mike Johnson from Atlanta. Big Mike's my best friend, and well, one of my best friends. I don't know if you're the top Big Mike, but anyway, Big Mike Johnson from Atlanta. He likes the shirt. He wants the shirts to go into production. I'll tell you what, Big Mike, I'm kind of a schlub. I'm not a great businessman, so I got to figure out how to get distribution, proofs, all that good stuff. Maybe we'll see some shirts in the near future. But Big Mike, always great to see you. Love you, buddy, and can't wait to see you again. Shout out to Larry Pilgrim, Evil Dax, Lefter Tiberu Vlad. Shout out to Demetrius Milonis, Drew Churchill, David Adams, Sean O'Neill. I think I already said Sean O'Neill, but Sean O'Neill. Shout out once again. And Shout out to Gabe, Socas, and last but certainly not least, I wasn't going to forget about you. 201 Lifestyle. What is up, my man? Shout out to 201 Lifestyle. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily plays on that site beginning at just $1.99 per month. There's a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. You can also access my current record for free right on the homepage. It's a great site, a lot of great information, a lot of swings this week. We've had, it's like feast or famine. We've had really good days, really bad days. So if you like the roller coaster, it's been a really fun week for you. If you like slow and steady, man, I'll tell you, you probably lost some hair like me this week. But anyway, it's been a fun week, and we're going to look to improve again today. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. That is my operating website for premium plays and selections. But most importantly, guys, this is the heartbeat. This is what drives the brand. I got to thank you guys for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you guys enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. I certainly enjoyed producing it for you each and every day. So with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.